Welcome to Orange County Power Players, where we spotlight the personal, professional, and financial success stories of OC's top leaders. Here's your host, Danny Flores.
Welcome back to OC Power Players, where I interview some of the most successful people in Orange County. I'm Danny Flores, your host, and today's honored guest is Cara Tas. She is an experienced interior designer specializing in helping real estate developers achieve maximum ROI through smart, strategic interior design. With over 10 years of experience, she understands the unique challenges and goals of developers, offering tailored solutions that blend high-end luxury with budget-conscious value engineering. Whether it's boutique hotels, creative office spaces, multifamily residences, or student housing, she designs with the end goal in mind, elevating property value and market appeal. Welcome, Cara. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me today, Danny.
Sure. No, it's an honor to have you here. And would you like to tell our audience a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, my name is Cara Tas. I have an interior design firm in Los Angeles, and I design from the OC all the way up to like San Francisco, depending on the projects. And I do ground up developments for design, and then I also do renovations. So what I primarily try to do is I work with developers or I work with people that own the properties, and then I try to give them the best design possible for the maximum or for the minimal budget, basically pulling out like the wow factor, not wasting time and not wasting money. So it ends up being profitable for the person on the back end.
Yeah. Now, when you guys get together and you guys put a design together, are you able to easily get all the things that you designed, all the fixtures, provide them for whether it's 10 units or 200 units? How does that work?
Yeah, so how that works is what I first start with is I start with the art and the big concept, okay? Mm-hmm. So what I do from there is I want to design for like the Taj Mahal. So I take these concepts of these much higher end, like the $60 million home, right? Mm-hmm. And then I kind of like, and then I try to bring it into multifamily or boutique hotels and, or even like creative office. And so I try to start here. Then I kind of break it down and we try to swap out fixtures because there's thousands of different light fixtures out there. So why would we handicap ourselves trying to use the cheap stuff first, right? Let's try to go for like the Taj Mahal and then try to figure out budget-friendly ways, or they call it in the industry value engineering it back down to scale so we can offer it. And it could be like working on going from a Class B property to Class A, or it can be for some, like a creative office, somebody wants to kind of like impress clients when they come into the space. I've done some like entertainment and, that's a big deal, right? These people are used to luxury. They're used to the good look. But I also know at the end of the day, this is a business, right? And whenever they were doing their business plan to purchase the property, right, they had an idea in mind of how much they were going to spend. So yeah, I think the thing that sets me apart from other designers is sometimes other designers, they're so far apart from what the actual budget is. They go more big picture, and then the developer tries to actually do it themselves. They try to value engineer it themselves. But what they don't understand is I do this all day, every day. So they're really handicapping themselves because I know where to get the different products that can match, like the different cabinets that could, swap out the custom cabinets, right? Or the different countertops that are very similar, that are a mirror image to maybe like a product like Decton, right? So that's kind of where I bring the value in. And then I also do keep some nice stuff. I will keep some signature pieces in there to make sure that the people, when they walk in, if they're used to a high-end look, they'll recognize it like, oh, this is a Restoration Hardware fitting, right? But maybe we'll only do it in the lobby space. Maybe the units will be the knockoff version. I don't know if I should say that, but
right, a more cost-effective version.
The more cost-effective version, the one that's like in the realm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like the in-between person from the designer who's not really looking at what anything costs, just giving you the best of the best, to
Yeah.
being able to realize that in a more cost-effective way for the builder and the developer, right? Because every dollar that comes out for the developer, it's times X amount of units, and it adds up super fast. Or you can control the expense super fast as well.
And it's more about like it's not about like cheapening the design at all. It's just
Right.
more about like it's more about putting the money where the money counts, right?
Mm-hmm.
The things that the first impressions, the place that attracts the people, right?
Right.
They're not gonna know what if the counter is Cambria or it's a, or if it's a different version of it, right? Like
Right.
the end user will not know, and
Right.
especially in commercial spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So, and why waste the developer's time, right? Or the owner's time specing a bunch of stuff that is completely out of budget. And then when
Right.
the contractors try to purchase it and they do their own version of the value engineering, it ends up becoming a very messy process. And
Mm-hmm.
I kind of I kind of come across as more than just a designer, but a project manager slash designer for that type of, for that, like it's a different skill set, you know?
Right. And you specialize mostly on all the finishes, all the hardware that goes in to finish the end product.
Yeah, from the flooring, the cabinets to the design of the slab, is it going to be a waterfall edge or we're going to do like a custom detail
Mm-hmm.
to like the tile layouts. I will be on site on
Yeah.
site on my hands and knees laying the tile if the subs don't get it. Like, and I really try, like, I have people that can do that, but when it comes to some of the detailing, like I am hands-on. You're not going to get like a junior designer in there who really doesn't know like the big scope of the project.
Right. Right.
I will be the one doing it, or because I love the design. That's why I got into the business. I
Right.
didn't get
Right.
into it to manage a team of people. I got into it to like manage the actual like end product.
Right. 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 Which controls the quality a lot, I would
Yeah.
imagine, and gives you that final high quality finish when you have your end product complete.
Yeah. It's definitely because I care. Like I 100% care. And
Right.
if the subs say they can't do it, which I've heard a lot,
Right.
I will either on like a Zoom call or in person, I will pull up a YouTube video and I will be like,
Right.
actually, you can do it, and this
You
is how you
can.
can do
Yeah.
it. Like,
Right.
I'm
Right.
gonna need this, and the developer, like sometimes they have like 5, 10, 15 projects going, right? So they
Right.
can't necessarily like be there to manage all of the GCs, and the GCs
Right.
necessarily don't care because they're moving from one project to the next.
Right. Right.
But to me, it's like my name, my design. So I really want it done right, like 100% want it done right. Yeah.
Right, right. And you got it. And that's interesting because yes, sometimes when you tell the subs that you want it a certain way, they want to do it a fast way where they're not concentrating on how the direction of the tile is going and how the design is. It's just blow and go. But
Yeah.
being able to get in there and show them, say, hey, this is what I want it to look. That's the beauty of having you involved because you're like quality control. This is why I envision, and this is what you guys have to deliver.
Yeah. And one thing that my firm actually does pretty good too, which I didn't really talk about, is space planning. So,
Mhm.
like a lot of times, it's like you buy a space, and multifamily is a little more like kind of cut and dry for the most part. But with
Mhm.
some of the older properties, if it's a renovation, we open walls to open up the kitchens, things like
Right,
that.
right.
But it's like more about like the lobby space and the functionality of it, or like in creative office, that there's a
Right,
lot of space planning there, obviously, because you got to, either pack it in or make it more fun and usable now because it's
right, right.
um and then and hospitality is kind of the same way. Like, how is that space actually going to be used? And there's things that people don't think about. It's like the functionality kind of combined with good design. And like,
Hmm.
where are you gonna like meet it? Because you got to meet in the middle, right? I mean,
Right, right. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Now there's a lot of competition in the design world. What makes you different and makes you stand above the rest?
I understand the ROI. So I think at the end of the day, because I did work at a bigger firm,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a lot of friends in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
and not to like what the difference is that they are so like disconnected from the actual developer for the most part, is that
Mm-hmm.
they're sitting there and they're specifying either they specify things that are too cheap,
Right.
right? Because they're like, oh, you don't have the budget. You don't have the budget. So we're just going to give you this product. And this is a package that we already used on other projects, right?
Right.
I will not do that. 100% will not do that. I wish I did that. It'd probably be more profitable, honestly. but but then I also so that's one state of mind. Or like you go to like the Genslers of the world, right? And like the bigger firms. And then what they do is uh they will specify things that are like so far apart from what the end budget's going to be that there's going to be a lot of times they're doing like all this value engineering, and then they have all of these people kind of like on the back end in the middle trying to do it, but
Right.
what there is there's a separation between the design and what the end product's going to be then. And that is like, to me, that's like a no-go, because it really doesn't ever turn out quite the way you want,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know? So, and I communicate really, and I know they're like the vendors and where to purchase things because all I do is shop for a living in a way,
Right. Right.
because I've
Right.
done the procurement as well. And most firms kind of separate the design and the procurement,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where kind of things, I think that's where things get lost in translation and the
That's
project
interesting.
management side of the detailing, right? Because,
Right.
an architect, I have an architect, if people have architects, right?
Right.
They can do the drawings, but they don't really know. Well, what we got to do is we got to give the design to the architect so the architect can make that customized. Like, what if we want to do a cool speakeasy room, right? With a little bookshelf that moves, Like, there's a
Right.
lot of details that go into that. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can pull something off a CAD or Revit, right? But it's
Right.
not going to be quite right?
Right. 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 So what comes easy to you where others might find a little challenging?
Communication, because you have to take what's in somebody's head, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then you have to put it on the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people that they're like, I like mid-century. But when you actually look at what they think mid-century is a disconnect
Mm-hmm.
from what you were thinking, right?
Right.
So
Right.
it's like it's using a lot of imagery. It's using good communication skills. It's kind of dwindling it down, and then also keeping them going forward where the design is going.
Right. Right. Right.
I follow fashion, right? I do things that are on trend towards like where it's going, because if the build out is today, it might not be installed to a year and a half, 2 years out, right?
Right.
So you need to be in front of it, not behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like can be educating them,
Mm-hmm.
educating the developer, the person, whoever the client is, and like letting them know, like, hey, look, this is cool today, and you just saw this installed in this brand new luxury home, right? So you're thinking,
Right. Right.
okay,
Right.
this is what the design is, but it's really not. It's really
Mm-hmm.
not. Like that's actually something that was like past. That was already dated by the time it got installed. So
Right.
and thank God, we're in Southern California because we have the vendors come to us. I mean, we have some of the like the best products and the best designs for
Mm-hmm.
either furniture. I also do the furniture too, by the way.
Okay. Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, like the hospitality project I'm working on right now. It's a boutique hotel,
Mm-hmm.
but everything is custom. Everything is custom. So we got some concepts and it's all being made right
Mm-hmm.
now. It
Right.
might already be done soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I will customize everything to make sure it's like perfect for the project. And that's in hospitality. You probably don't need that on the onesie twosie pieces,
Right.
but I'm just letting people know that is an option.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and furniture design is part of the whole package, the whole experience.
Right. Right. Right.
Like,
So that means you're able to go from A to Z and basically cover it all, make it easier for the developers to have you come in and do the design and find them the products.
I think it would be I have brought a lot of profit to people that want to purchase the building and renovate it.
Mhm.
So I've done very well in that field because I care and I take on all different sizes of projects, whether it's something like, 4 units to 180, 200 units. So it doesn't
Mhm.
really matter like that. Like it's a big range, honestly.
Mhm.
And
Right.
but I put just as much love into the smaller projects as I do into the bigger ones.
Right.
Yeah. And I can
So,
help, of course. So,
right. No, that's great. That's great. Now, if somebody's listening to us and wants to kind of do what you do, and how would they get into the design type of a field? What would your suggestion be?
well, one, you have to have a love for it. So if you're just doing it because you think you like it, it's different. No, you really have to love what you do. Because if you can spend an hour if you're going to do it right, you can spend hours and hours and hours just looking for the right pendant, right? But I mean, it sounds silly, but honestly, if you don't like, if it takes like a certain type of mindset to kind of want to do that,
Mhm.
because if you don't love it, the product is not going to turn out properly.
Right. Right.
Um, and then also, I would say work at a firm first. Be good at drawing, be good
Mhm.
at being able to put your concepts down right away.
Mhm.
Um, if you can't draw, don't get in it.
Right. Right.
You got to
Right.
be able to sketch out your ideas. When I went to UCLA, their architecture and interior design program, and I was in class with people and they couldn't draw. But you got to be able to relay concepts. Like you need to be able to sit across from the table and draw what you're thinking right
Mhm.
away. And that's but yeah, it's a good field to be in. I mean, it's
Mhm.
tough, like any field, right? I mean, you have to go out there and put yourself out there all the time, and it's not always
Right.
easy, right?
Right. Right. Make yourself available and known. So with that said, what has been one of your biggest challenges in your career that you've had to overcome?
Um, I think my biggest challenge for design would be it's just like the back office stuff.
Hmm.
All the creative stuff, no problem. I got that, right? I love that. It's like, because that's the part that I'm in it for, but it's just like managing people and stuff and that
Hmm.
whole side of it. It's like, it's fine, but also it's just, it's running a business in California.
Yeah. That's entrepreneurship. Yeah, exactly. Not
Yeah,
all
so
glamorous.
being a business owner is definitely like not for the faint of heart, right? So
No.
you have to have the stomach and it's always the projects, right? You eat what you
Yeah.
kill. So you bring in a project and then you keep going and you keep going and you build a reputation and
Hmm.
but in the beginning it's hard. It's really hard, especially if you're not known. Yeah, it's tough. And especially here, because there's a lot of designers out there and you got to figure out a way to set yourself apart and get in front of the right people.
Right. Right. Make you, it's competitive, right? You just got to fight for that position.
Yeah.
Now, it looks like you're doing well and looks like you have a great customer base and you have great success in your projects. So congratulations on that. What sometimes business owners such as yourselves also try to look ahead and plan for the future, plan for their retirement, and try to create some passive income aside from their regular business to set themselves up for that. What are your thoughts on that?
What I would like to do is, I mean, I would like to take ownership interest in some of the projects because I really do
Mhm.
believe in the product that how it's going to come out. So that's kind of like how I see my retirement is
Right,
going is partnering up with the right people and taking ownership interest because I've done very well at making people rich.
right, right.
Very well.
Yeah.
I would say I'm an expert. Come
There you go.
to me. You will definitely make money on your project. I'm just kidding.
Right, right, right.
Almost, but I like nobody's lost money, okay? Everybody's
Yeah,
far more than what design the world can offer.
right. And
Yeah.
that's your value right there that you bring to the table. So potentially maybe somebody along the way would decide to slice up a little bit of equity and there's your foot in the door to be able to get some ownership into some of the projects that you participate in.
Yeah, I do believe him. I do 100% believe in the project.
Yeah.
It is about the client. It is about the design, the contractor, and then, like the implementation. If things aren't going the right way, we need to make an adjustment fast and not just sit on it and not just like pray that it might go right. I do
Right.
not do that. So especially if it was my project, I 1,000% would want to have like I would be on it.
Right. Exactly. Now, as we wrap up our interview, what does 2025 look like for you?
Well, it's gonna be a good year, it looks like. I'm in talks with some bigger firms as far as doing some like really nice hospitality projects.
Mhm.
So basically, like on these big architecture firms, they do like these, they're like actually cool projects. They're super cool. So it's on like, I can't tell you who yet. So we'll find out.
Wow.
But I'm in talks with a few of them. And
Right.
then another one for getting basically doing the design for another architecture firm. So I'm kind of like, I'm keeping my firm for sure, 100% dealing with people. But these are just extra, you know, to because you can't be everywhere, you can't do everything, right?
Right.
So it's just like partnering up with the right people. And the good news is on some of the much bigger projects, like that like I will not be project managing these as much.
Mhm.
Those will be pure design, pure
Right.
creative, pure design.
Right.
And then I will also be doing all the projects with like, the projects that are like, like 60 units or 4 units or
Mhm.
creative office, like the Google Space type of look, right?
Right.
And then also, yeah, like student housing and stuff,
Mhm.
some of those things my firm will, and like smaller boutique hotels I will be handling with my
Mhm.
firm. And then some of the
Right.
bigger stuff I'll be partnering on just like the design. The smaller stuff, I'll be doing more project management, more delegating. Uh,
Right.
but on the bigger ones, I'll be kind of a little more hands off.
Oh, that'd be good. Yes. Sounds
Yeah.
like a promising year for you. Well, Carol, thanks so much for joining us and sharing your tips on what you do. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you, how could they do that?
You can get a hold of me. I mean, I'm like old fashioned. You can
Mhm.
call. That'd be great.
Right.
So my number is, I'm just kidding. Well, I can do it actually. Like 310-773-7307. Or you can look at my website if you like. It's www.cara, CARATAS design.com, Cara Tas design.com.
Mhm.
Or you can just shoot me an email. My email is send it to info@caratasdesign.com.
Great. All right, Carol, thanks so much for coming on the show. And to our listeners, please go to OC Power Players and follow us on your favorite channel. And don't forget to like us.
Bye, guys. Bye. Hope
Thanks for listening to Orange County Power Players. Want to share your success story? Apply to be a guest at ocpowerplayers.com/guest.